sweaty palms, you go blank, and shaking. If you have experienced any of these emotions when you're giving your presentation, I am about to share with you 7 tips on how to feel calm, confident, and in charge as you give your next presentation. Hello, my name is Brenda Chadambura, and I'm the creator and founder of Public Speaking Masterclass. Welcome to this video. The fear of speaking in public is one of the most common fears amongst people around the whole world. And what's unfortunate about that is that if you are able to really present your ideas in a way that is clear, that is strong, and that is compelling, you have such an opportunity to help people to get to know you as well as to see the credibility of your professional work. In fact, Forbes magazine wrote an article where they stated that 70% of people who had advanced in their careers credited presentation skills as the #1 reason why they were able to advance so well in their careers. So it's really important that you be able to overcome any nerves that you have so that you do not let your fear become the reason why people do not get to know you and the reason why you do not fully show the value of what you're able to produce in your company or in your business. Through this video, I want to help you make sure that every time you are speaking, you are talking from a place of feeling strong and confident in who you are and what it is that you have to say. Because when you do, the people who listen to you, including your colleagues and your bosses, start to see you not just as an employee, but as a leader. And that's what you want every time you are talking. So let's get started talking about these 7 steps on how to ensure that you are speaking as someone who's no longer feeling nervous or afraid, but one who is sure of who they are and what it is that they have to say to the world. Number 1, make sure that you connect with why it is that you want to say what you want to say. If you have something valuable to give to your company or to give to other people, connect with that passion, because that passion should be the thing that drives you to speak no matter how afraid you are. In fact, the more you are connected with your passion, the more you're going to be able to be stronger and to be more sure of yourself. And that actually means that your fear starts to diminish, because that passion is incinerating all that fear, and all that's left behind is the potency of what it is that you want to say and how you are saying it. And when that shines, people are really connected to you, and they get connected to what it is that you have been trying to say to them. And that is incredibly powerful. Number 2, remember that public speaking is not about you feeling nervous on stage and feeling like you're being judged. It's quite the opposite. The proper way to look at public speaking is that it's about a positive experience with yourself as well as a positive experience with your audience. The more you feel good about who you are and the more connected you are with what's best in you, and you speak from that place of knowing that I have something valuable to say and that I am worthy, the more your audience will connect with that. And when they connect with a sense of your being so powerful and so confident, they are going to believe you, they're going to trust you, and they're going to rally around you as you speak to them about what's important to you. So remember that. Carry a sense of being sure of yourself as you are on stage, and speak from that perspective, and you will find that fear and nervousness start to diminish, because now your sense of value in yourself starts to be the thing that leads you to speak, and it also helps your audience to feel like they have a leader who is speaking to them. Number 3, embrace your fear. I actually think fear is not something you should see as something bad when it's actually happening. When you are a little bit nervous, it means that you are invested in what you're talking about, and that's good. If you're a little too relaxed and you feel like you have it all under control, sometimes it actually works against you. So embrace that sense of feeling a little bit nervous and stop thinking that there's something wrong with you for feeling that way. Use that sense of fear and digest it into enthusiasm. Feel excited about what it is that you're about to talk about, because the more excited you are, the more your audience is going to be excited about what you're about to share with them. When you carry that sense of energy on stage, people instantly feel like, wow, I'm about to be taken on an interesting journey through this person's presentation. But if you get on stage feeling defeated and feeling frightened and small, they immediately get turned off by you, and it becomes harder for them to connect with what you're about to say. Number 4, picture yourself on stage way ahead of time as soon as you know that you have been given an opportunity to give a presentation. What I mean by that is, as soon as you know that you've been assigned to give a speech or a presentation, instantly see yourself on stage giving this presentation in a very dynamic and interesting way. Because as soon as you start to create that picture in your mind, you start to diminish any sense of fear that would sometimes overwhelm you. You start to carry that enthusiasm that we're talking about, and that becomes the thing that drives you as you're preparing for the presentation. And it's also the same thing that's going to drive you when you're backstage, as well as when you're actually on stage talking to the people in front of you. While you are also picturing yourself on stage, think about the people who are actually listening to you. Picture them being enthusiastic, being receptive, really engaged, enjoying your presentation, because that will also help you to not feel like I'm coming into a space where I'm going to be judged. Instead, the mental picture you have created in your head will mean that you will start to think of yourself as someone who's going to be welcomed, who's going to be enjoyed, and who is also going to enjoy this presentation they're about to give. Number 5, know your audience and love your audience. Now, it might sound weird for me to say to love your audience, but what I'm going to say will hopefully make sense as I explain it. What I mean by love your audience and know your audience is that, first of all, as soon as you know that you've been given a chance to speak before a group of people, know who they are. Are they business people? Are they moms? Are they children? Because depending on who they are, you have to approach them in a way that makes sense to who they are. If I'm speaking to children, I should make sure that my speech or whatever presentation I'm giving is interactive, is fun, and is memorable. So maybe that means I should include songs and maybe ask for volunteers from the audience, because kids love that. And that will ensure that my presentation is something that is compelling and really good for them. When I say love your audience, I mean understand what their feelings are. What kind of emotions are they bringing into the space when you're giving a presentation? Is it a group of colleagues who are being forced to come to your presentation because it's mandatory? Is it a group of business professionals who really want to learn something from you because maybe it's a new concept that they feel will help them in their career? The motivation is going to be very different for these two groups of people. This group of people, you will have to find a way to make sure that you engage with them and you understand where they're coming from. You make it interesting right from the get-go. Whereas with the second group, they are already invested. They just want you to give them the information and to give it with a punch because they want to get as much out of it as they can. So can you see how then the more empathetic you are to where your audience is coming from, the more you're going to have a compelling speech. But more than that, you are going to feel like you are ready for this presentation the more you know your audience. Number 6, you are in charge. Remember that, because whenever you are starting to feel like you're nervous, remember that you are actually the one who has been given the honor and the responsibility to lead the people in front of you into an interesting journey of discussion and discovery where they're learning from you. That should enable you to feel stronger and more sure of yourself, and it should actually ground you, because it helps you to understand that it's not about you, it's about making sure that you serve the people in front of you well, because that's actually what it is that they want. They want to be led through a good and enjoyable journey through what it is that you're about to say. In fact, when I used to coach kids in a workshop, in a public speaking workshop, I would give an example of a train driver who takes them on a journey, and they're enjoying beautiful scenery, and then suddenly the train driver stops and is nervous and scared and frightened and just jumps out of the train and runs away and says, "I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. I can't drive this train anymore." Of course, the kids laugh, but they get the idea that as soon as you are on stage, you are like that train driver. People are expecting you to lead them, to show them something interesting, and to know that you know what you're talking about. Because the more sure of yourself you are, the more they're going to be of you. The fact that they're already sitting in the chairs waiting to hear from you means they are expecting to be led and to be directed. So take that responsibility and let it give you a sense of strength and a sense of knowing that you're in the right place. You don't have to be afraid because you are already primed to do well when you're on stage. All they want from you is to give them clear, compelling ideas that they can take with them and really feel like, I was taken somewhere where I had not been through this discussion, and I'm glad I was on that journey. That actually goes in line with something else that I wanted to share. Take out of your mind this idea of thinking that your audience is pointing fingers at you and wondering, who do you think you are? Quite the opposite. What they're actually thinking in their heads as they're sitting, waiting to hear from you is, inspire me, motivate me, illuminate me, educate me, make me laugh, entertain me. All of these emotions are what they're wanting to get out of your presentation. And if you're able to do that well, you have won. Not only have you won the audience, but you have also won because you have done a great service to the people who are listening to you. Now, the final tip, number 7, is something that I have spoken about and I am the Pied Piper for. And that is, use your smile. Smiling seems like such a simple thing to do, but it actually produces 3 hormones that help you to feel better about yourself. Serotonin, which helps you to relax, endorphins, which make you feel happier, and oxytocin, which helps you to feel more connected with other people. Isn't that incredible? All through just a simple act of smiling and all that happens. So remember that. Use your smiling as a way of relaxing. Because when you do, as you're standing backstage, and when you carry that smile as you walk on stage, you are already primed to do so well and to feel a lot better about yourself as you start to speak. The other thing that I would recommend you do is, while you're standing backstage before your presentation, stand in the power pose. Walk around and smile. And you'll find yourself relaxing, and you'll find yourself feeling more grounded and feeling calmer. And the other thing is that you feel like you're more in charge and more authoritative as you stand like that. So use those 2 things. Smile, take deep breaths, and stand in the power pose. And as you walk on stage and you smile again, and you give yourself the opportunity to take a deep breath, look at your audience, and then smile, you have primed yourself for a really good start to your presentation, as well as giving your audience the opportunity of knowing that they're about to go on an exciting adventure through your presentation. Now, one bonus tip. I recommend that you wear clothes that you feel beautiful in, as well as feeling strong in. Whenever you do that, it's amazing how much it changes your mindset and helps you to already feel like you're in the right place at the right time. Because that's how you want to feel. You don't want to get into a space feeling like you're already defeated and small. You want to get into a space knowing that I'm here for a reason and I'm going to accomplish what I set out to do, and I'm going to do it well. So use that little tip. Make sure that you have something that you really feel good in, because it will show in how you give your presentation And other people will actually receive that sense of you feeling good as they're listening to you. Thank you so much for having joined me on this journey. Please do not forget to subscribe, because I'm going to be sharing so many tips that will help you to not only feel confident, but to feel really articulate in how you are giving your presentations. But not just your presentations, anytime you are talking. Because sometimes the best opportunities come with just your everyday conversation. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will be seeing you in the next video. And here's your success.